Hi, in this video I want to show you how you can take this strike rate of 85.65%, this profits point from 76.68 and this ROI, return on investment, from 34.39 to a strike rate of 89.16, a ROI of 46.09 and points profit to 93.57. So stay tuned and I'll show you exactly how we can do that. Hi, it's Malcolm here, and if you don't know me, I've been creating software for the betting industry for over 20 years, and one of my products is TTS Plus, the Advanced Research Trading Tool. So in this video I want to show you how I came up with a system, and then one of my members sent what he calls an improved system back, and how what the differences are between the two of them. So a couple of weeks ago I wrote out in one of my daily emails that I created this lay system using TTS, and gave them the filters that I was using and said, could anybody come back and try and improve that? I don't create a lot of systems. My job is to create software for the users and allow them to then use that software in the best way possible. So you can see that there's lots of filters on here that allow people to play around with them and get the best results they can from them. So let me take you through some of the information I used, and then I'll show you what the user John sent back and what filters he used. So I used a lay, obviously. Now -2 to -1 last time out, that's the last race they had, and the result, well, -2 is that they haven't raced before. So we're looking for runners that, you know, are likely not to win. So often a good place to start is runners that have never run before, because you don't know what they're going to do in the race. -1 is the runner last time out either fell, was pulled up, or didn't finish the race basically for one reason or another. So we're using basically two horses, or two types of horses, one that hasn't won before, hasn't run before, and one that didn't run very well last time out. We're using 0 to 9 MRS. Now MRS is my own score. That looks at the past results of the horse and creates a score that normally goes about from 0 to maximum about 35, 40. Generally they're around 0 to 25 most of the time. So we tend to use for backs MRS scores of 10 plus. I like 15 plus, that kind of thing. So when we get down to 0 to 9, we're obviously looking at horses that haven't got a very high MRS, so haven't probably got a very good past as far as horse racing is concerned. Nothing else on this side of it. Green rating. Now I'll show you what green rating is. Now this is TTS, which is the daily coloured code card, which is similar to TTS Plus, but there's no history, there's no savings and stuff like that. You just get the daily cards like this. But you'll see there's green ratings, and this is what I call a colour coding, to see how high these runners are. So this one, as you can see, has got 5 greens. This one hasn't got any. So if we go back to the cards, you can see that 0 to 3 is obviously low. They haven't got many green ratings, or haven't got any green ratings at all. And the last couple of things was that I picked on second favourites only. I just wanted, you can do this on favourites or second favourites or third favourites. I just like second favourites, and somebody did say that it actually works on third favourites as well, but that aside. And finally, I did forget to mention when I told people about this that I was only using UK races, and you'll see in John's system he actually had this unticked, and that's because he felt I had it unticked. The thing to remember is these must be second favourites. So if we look at these two here, Hooky Street and, I don't know how to pronounce that, Lonamos Barelli or something. If we go to the actual race, we can see Hooky Street is right down there at 23, so it's not second favourite, that would be Famoso, and even the second one is not there. So it's unlikely that we are going to be able to place a bet in this race. If we have a look at another one, which is the Prince of Mercia in the 1500, right down here, If we have a look at, we've got quite a few here. So 1530, Hereford, Man of the North, again, right back down there. Let's just have a look at the 1600. So we got Ask Me Another, Crystal Pat and Rocco. Let's have a get back. So Rockola is actually favourite, and Crystal Glance is, now this is 1600, which is later in the day, so maybe one of those might turn around. Was it Crystal Glance? Sorry, yeah, Crystal Glance. So if we just look at that last one, Hobby, again, you know, outside. Don't forget, these runners will be expected not to win the race, so you're going to find that you just get these odd runners that come in as second favourite, and we can use them. So you're not going to get a selection every day. Okay, so next let's go to John's version of this system. Okay, so now we're looking at John's idea and the extra filters that he's used. And what I do is I go through and explain what they are and how they're being used. So John's first of all gone for a longer distance, or short, longer distance. He's got rid of the shorter 5 and 6 furlong races and started at 7 furlong races. That's sometimes a pretty good idea to do, because you never know what's going to happen in 5 or 6 furlong races, so it's worth looking at. MRS and Last Time Out are exactly the same. He's also gone for 5 to 50 number of runners, getting rid of shorter races, which again is probably worth doing, because you know there's a chance if there's a 2 or 3 runner race, or even 4, your chances of winning that or winning on that race become less because there's fewer runners, so you know you have to be a little bit careful. Tipster count stayed the same. Now what John's also included is a couple of extra filters here, which is average 1 rank and average 3 rank. Now going back to the other TTS, you can see here that we've got this average 1, average 2, average 3 and average 4, and again these are ranked as green being rank 1, the top, and then it goes down a race. If I show you an actual race card, and if we go by say average 1, you can see here that the top one, number 1, has got a green, then this kind of yellowish mustardy colour, and then this pinkish colour, and then going down. So that would be number 1, 2, 3, 4. So when we talk about rank 1, we're talking about the top one. But what John's actually done is he's used 2 to 40. So in other words, he hasn't used the top one in any of these, or of these 2 that he's used, so 2 onwards, which again, you know, you don't really want these top rank runners being one of your selections if you can help it. The other thing he's used is the back to in play rank selections. Now in the description below you'll see a link to find out what these selections are. It's a free link, so you can watch these selections daily if you want to. As I said, there's a link in the description below. Again, it's the ranking, so the top back to in play selection will not be used. It's another way of looking at the runners in a race and scoring on them. Normally the score is not as normally the score goes from 0 to 7. It's only showing ranks up to 50 because you could have 50 runners in a race, which, you know, nowadays you don't normally. You'll see most of it, I've only got as high as 40, but probably most of the time there's not 10 or 15 runners in a race. But the score is 0 to 7. And normally a top scorer will be 5 to 7, something like that. They're the ones I tend to use. But in this case, again, he's not using the top rank, he's using 2 or under. And the other thing is he's not used UK races only, which I did. So we can have a look at that in a second. So if we go down, we've already seen that his selections, or his he makes more profit. It's got a 89% strike rate. But let's do one thing. Let's go back to mine. In fact, I've taken a screenshot of mine. So let's have a look at the difference between our 2 results. So this is mine and this is John's. John had less So John has less selections at 203. A higher strike rate, I had 85.65, he had 89. He's got a lower bank drawdown. Predicted lose and run is 2 because that strike rate just brings it outside the 3 predicted lose and run. I got 76 points, he's got 93, and my return on investment was 34.39, his is 46.09. That return on investment is based on 200 selections, 93 points divided by 203 selections. So that's what gives you that. Now let's have a look at a couple of things. Well, let's take out UK, and let's do UK races only, see what kind of difference that might make. So it does actually make a little bit more difference. Now the reason you're not seeing strike rate is just a little problem with my coding. Because there have been no losers this month, it's not showing any overall strike rate. I've got to sort that out. I should have done that by now actually, but anyway, so I think a bit less points. I think the strike rate would be slightly higher on this, and obviously this month we've had 5 selections and no losers, so that's a good thing. And the ROI was definitely higher at 51.3. Highest bank drawdown is lower as well, so it might be worth not using Irish races. The other thing I'd like to do is I'm going to take this off because we're going to deal with the system as John's actually done it. If we come down, the other thing I'm going to do is I generally only pay 2% commission. So we'll update those results and you can see that that's made a little bit of difference to the profit. And then we could talk about whether we're going to use a percentage of bank. So if we use 1% of our bank, and that's made a lot of difference to the profit, because as it goes, your score. That doesn't always make a difference, by the way. You've got to watch percentage of bank. It tends to work well on systems that don't have a lot of losers. But when you have a lot of losers, you'll have to think of something else. Now, obviously, longest losing run of 2 brings your brain thinking about other possibilities. But there are other staking systems as well. I suppose you could use 1326 staking plan, whatever that is. So again, yeah, that's created a lot of profit using that. It's not one I've actually used, but it was one that was suggested to put in the into the results sheet so they could test. And we could test one up and win back to normal, where basically you just increase your stake by its original stake. So if you're staking 1 point, the next one will be 2 points, the next one will be 3 points. If we update those results, so we see a little bit more profit, a bit of return on investment. So there's a few things you can do as far as it's concerned, depending on obviously what you want to do. So I just wanted to show you that. As I said, if you take off, if you use UK races only, I actually think that's a little bit better. So if we have a look at that, I think that may be a bit better. If we add in that 1% liability, or 1% of your bank, that shows a few points, pretty good. So yeah, I don't know. You can have a look at that yourself. The idea was to give you give you what John's done, and then you can go back and go, okay, I like this, I like that, and see what you can come up with. And if you do come up with anything good, send it over to me and we'll have a look at it. So yeah, hopefully that's been of use to you. If you're watching this on YouTube, please give it the thumbs up if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel so you'll get notified when there's new ones. And if you can, give me the thumbs up. Did I already say that? A like and all that kind of thing. It just it gives the algorithm evidently a chance to show the video to more people, and that's always handy for me. Okay, well, thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you soon. Bye bye.